mountainous, rugged heart of Central Asia, where the ancient silk routes ran between Europe and the Far East, comes a spicy cuisine, a world where the guest is king. Welcome to the delicious generosity of Afghan food. Join our food safari to learn how to create the sensational masterpiece Kabuli Pilau, beloved spicy korma, some of the best bread on earth, the secrets of a great kebab, beautiful silky dumplings, and a dessert rich with nuts and rosewater.
Afghan food, it's a blend of many different nationalities come together in the heart of Asia, and it sort of became Afghan. I mean, I'm an Afghan, and every day I get up and I get excited about what I'm going to make.
Wow.
We got dumplings, we have a lot of rice dishes, we have a lot of stews. There's no dieters in Afghanistan. They all want to eat. They want to feed people. So it is all about food.
Ryla Smith grew up in Kabul and moved to New York at the age of 11. Her mother's cooking, learnt from the Uzbek province, the fragrance of spices and the methods of cooking have stayed with her. And she's such a passionate cook, she hopes to open an Afghan restaurant in Sydney in the near future. Merci John.
Yes, it's like bon appetit.
Would you say Afghan cuisine is a spicy cuisine?
No, it's actually quite mild. It's not as spicy as Indian or Pakistani food. The spices are there, but it's a hint of spice. The three main spices that we use a lot on most of our foods, especially rice dishes, it's cardamom, cumin, dry coriander seed. Dry mint is used pretty much on most Afghan dishes that are influenced by China. You know, the freshness in the mint makes a dish that's quite heavy, usually nice and light. Bread. Bread is so important to us. We eat it with everything. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's 3-4 different styles of bread, and our wonderful ethnic group of Azara are amazing of making the breads. They're just brilliant. They're the king of breads. So they make these, and back home they actually make them 3 times as big. Chana Dal, very popular.
So we know this is split peas?
Yes, and it's in every pantry. You have to have it. They cook it as a vegetarian dish with tomato paste and onions. They also cook it with chicken.
So it gives you extra texture in a dish.
Yes. Chickpeas, mung beans, kidney beans. Some of the poorest countries in the world come out with the most amazing dishes.
And Afghanistan's certainly up there.
Absolutely. The next ingredient would be our yogurt. It's almost like cheese for Italians. It's yogurt to Afghans.
Wow.
We use them on our food. We use them for dips. We add them to spicy dishes to make them mild. It's all about balance.
Nuts, Ryla, they're used extensively.
Yes. Pine nuts, walnuts are very big. Almonds and pistachios. We use nuts to cook with. We use them as snacks. And we use them after dinner. So
and dried fruit is used a lot.
Cooking, serving when people come over. We don't have chocolates and all the fancy stuff. We have dry fruit. Okay, dry mulberries, which are like a honey color. And they, again, beautiful with pine nuts and walnuts. Now, dried plums are widely used. They dry them because they preserve the sweetness, and it's sort of a sweet and sour taste. Green raisins, completely different flavor.
They're long and skinny.
Yes. It's called Husseini grapes, and they are just full of flavor. They melt in your mouth. They're fabulous. Ordinary black sultanas are used for cooking, and they're used on palau, and most of the Afghan dishes are usually used with sweet sultanas and carrots, of course.
Ryla, how important is rice in Afghan cuisine?
Well, very important. It's basically we cook rice 5 nights out of the week. It's our staple food. So, yeah, when it comes to rice, the Afghans are all experts. They like basmati rice the most.
So tell me what you read on the outside.
Well,
is classic an important word?
Yes. The classic basmati rice is aged.
And what does aging do to rice?
It actually it intensifies the flavour. When you cook it, it's fluffier, it's longer, it's nicer, it smells beautiful.
And it's said that once you've had Afghan rice, you can never eat another sort of rice.
Yeah, we're biased.
In Afghanistan, cooking rice takes time and dedication, and there are many styles of rice dishes. The most famous is from the capital, Kabuli Palau, considered to be the national dish.
When you go to weddings, big parties, Kabuli Palau is a first main dish, and it's a dish of celebration.
3 Kabuli Palau, there's 14 people.
Hasib Miazad has worked in many jobs since he arrived in Australia 20 years ago. Away from his family, he had to cook for himself and spent long hours talking recipes with his mother back in Kabul. His food became so good, his friends suggested he open a restaurant. So a year later, he opened Bamiyan in Sydney's inner west. Kabuli Palau is always on the menu. Hasib starts by frying a diced onion until golden brown, then adding a lamb leg cut into large pieces.
Use big chunk pieces. Use garlic, some salt. 1 tablespoon is good.
When the lamb is sealed, he covers it with water, bringing it to the boil. Then slowly simmering, skimming the surface occasionally as it cooks for an hour and a half. Looks like a really nice rich broth.
Yes, the stock we're going to use it to flavor the rice. The meat is ready.
When the meat is tender, Hasib sets it aside and starts on the deep, rich spice stock which will flavour the rice, cooking white sugar in a dry pan until it's dark brown, then adding the lamb stock. Along with garam masala made with bay leaves, cinnamon, cloves and cardamom, salt and some extra freshly ground cardamom. Hasib likes to use cellar or par-cooked rice for his palau. He soaks it for 4 hours, then cooks it in boiling water until it's almost cooked.
But you see, the rice is much longer now.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to drain all the excess water. Not too much oil, man.
Rice would never be cooked without a garnish, and Hasib slices battens of carrot, which are cooked with sugar in a little oil to caramelise until they're glossy.
For 1 kilo usually.
He adds sultanas and heats them through for a minute before placing them into a bowl and adding a little more ground cardamom.
Flavor.
For the final stage, the strained rice has the rich spice stock poured over.
We're going to make sure the stock goes everywhere. So we use one of these spoons.
Along with a good extra sprinkling of garam masala and ground cardamom. In a special touch, Hasib heats oil until smoking and then pours it over the aromatic spices. Amazing. So that brings the best out of the spices.
Yes, exactly.
He then makes holes for the rice to steam evenly. Adds the spiced carrot and the tender pieces of lamb.
Goes on the top.
The final cooking needs a special cotton cover to absorb the excess steam. It's called a sidak, and it stops the rice becoming gluggy.
Then leave it on very low heat for 10 minutes, and voila.
Wow, spices and beautiful rice.
Now we want to take all the meats out, leave it on the sides here. So this is how we garnish it. Bit of rice first, meat.
Why do you hide the meat in the rice?
I don't know, it's just a bit of surprise. We get 1 piece of meat in the spoon as well, and I say, wow, yeah. So you garnish. Now we have some almonds, yeah, and some pistachios. What do you think?
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
You did say Afghanistan ruled the rice world, and I think you're
That's
right.
right. Yeah. We do the best rice in the world, I think.
Right across Afghanistan, korma or curry is one of the most popular dishes, each region adding its own special ingredients and techniques.
When I make it with dry plum,
And what flavour does this give?
It give it like, sour and sweet flavor.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
And you've got the Chana Dal as well?
Chana Dal as well. We have to soak this and then, in the end of cooking, we add this.
Farida Ayubi is from Kabul and has been making korma for decades for her family and more recently at her Adelaide restaurant Pawana, a beautiful extension of family hospitality that's won awards for its food. To start the korma, Farida fries a whole chicken which has been sectioned into small pieces, cooking until they're golden brown. She sets the chicken aside and in the same oil cooks finely chopped ginger and garlic, then diced onion. Farida turns the heat down and stirs in natural yogurt, some turmeric and salt, then returns the chicken to the pot. She pops on a lid and cooks the korma slowly for 8 minutes. Then she adds pre-soaked Chana Dal and the soaked yellow plums.
When they get, it will be like bigger because of the, when you boil it.
This is cooked for a few minutes, then she adds chopped fresh tomatoes and red and green chilies, cooking them for a further 10 minutes. It smells absolutely wonderful.
It comes very nice.
So now you decorate it further.
Decorate it, yeah.
She garnishes the korma with red onion rings, wedges of lime and coriander, and serves it with Afghan bread. Is it good?
Nice.
One of life's great experiences is to breathe in deeply while the bread's being cooked at an Afghan bakery on the clay sides of the tannoor oven. The bread's sprinkled with sesame and nigella seeds, which add to the great baking smells, and customers buy by the armful. Habib Afghan Baig left Afghanistan at the age of 16, having learnt some of the secrets of baking from his father. In Australia, he toyed with the idea of doing another sort of work, but discovered he got the greatest satisfaction baking traditional fresh bread. What makes Afghan bread so unusual, so special?
Because it is like the natural way of baking, and we don't use any preservative. It's a flour, yeast and salt, that's it.
And wholemeal flour, isn't it?
We mix wholemeal and white flour, we mix it together, 50-50.
How does it stick on?
Experience.
Is it?
Yeah. Because the oven is hot,
yeah,
and the dough is wet,
yeah,
then we stick it on the oven.
So firm, but not too hard.
Not too hard.
It is amazing that it sticks upside down.
It sticks.
And it never falls down.
Sometimes.
And this is a tannoor oven.
This is the tannoor oven.
The sides are clay, so they're
all clay.
And it takes what, 1 minute to cook or so?
Yeah, 1 minute, less than 1 minute. Yeah.
And you know it's cooked because you can see the colour? Wow, that's so beautiful.
It's ready. See the back? Perfect.
Perfect.
The people love my bread, and I love the people.
This is the overwhelming aroma on the streets of Afghanistan, the enticing smell of marinated kebabs cooked over charcoal. They're an essential at any family celebration or wedding. A good kebab is highly prized. Tamim Hashimi is the king of the kebab in Sydney. With his wife Nabila, he caters for all the top Afghan weddings and family events. What makes a good kebab?
The good kebab is the good marinade, to use the proper ingredients.
And good meat, I guess?
And good meat, that's right.
And what meat are you using here?
This one is a lamb back strip.
And that's a beautiful piece of meat.
Yes, it is.
For the marinade, Tamim crushes garlic and adds it to the meat. Then purees red onion and carefully squeezes out all the liquid.
And what does the juice of an onion, a red onion, do for the meat?
Give a little bit of color and also tender the meat, make it juicier.
Wow, there's a lot of juice
Yes.
He adds a little salt and pours it over the lamb and marinates for 4 hours.
there. Tell me about what you're threading your kebabs onto.
The name, we call it Siri.
See,
This is made out of stainless steel.
you can see from the way you're threading that meat's really tender.
It is, yeah.
And you try and flatten it out a little bit.
Flatten it out, yeah. Cook quicker and also easy to cook. The second kebab is called chopan kebab. This one is lamb shoulder,
Lamb shoulder.
yeah, with the bones.
So the bone gives you a lovely flavour.
That's right. Pinch of salt, and you mix it well. The tip is just to have a little bit of fat on the meat. And once you put it on the barbecue, the fat will melt, goes into the meat and become nice and tasty.
Ah, that is a very serious looking kebab. Jamim, tell me about your specialist kebab barbecue.
I designed it with the windows on the side, so you can open it up.
So that slides back.
Yes, and also another one here. Once you put the kebab on top, the coal will stay alive and will give you lots of fire.
Wow.
Yeah, the
Because
power
you
to
need
cook.
the
You
smoky
need-
flame, don't
that's
you?
right, yeah.
So you can really space them quite close together.
Yeah. Then I'll move them slowly, slowly, so they can get evenly cooked.
When they start to cook, the smells
Then
that
you will-
come.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you ever get sick of that smell?
No.
No, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
When I put on the barbecue, just a little bit of oil on top.
keeps it moist.
That's right.
And so you bunch them into threes.
Yeah, easier to turn them around.
Ah. And you have to keep moving things.
Yeah, you just wait a little bit, just a few minutes, and then turn it around, and then you can see if it's cooked or not. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Chop on kebab.
Chopan.
Yeah.
Now, the way you cook these is quite different, right?
Bit different, yeah. This one actually needs a slower heat, and the reason I put this one after, because the heat's getting weaker. The weaker the heat, the better, because the fat will melt and will be lots of fire. So that's the reason we do this one last.
This is a meat lover's dream, isn't it?
It is.
Wow, smells wonderful.
The perfect accompaniment to kebab is a coriander and green chilli chutney. And Tamim's wife Nabila always makes it just before serving.
Coriander.
She puts chopped coriander, a couple of green chilies and garlic cloves into a blender with salt and vinegar.
Half a cup of white vinegar.
And that's it.
And yeah, this is quick and easy.
It sure is. And this is the same recipe your grandmother would have
Yeah.
used
Yes.
without the food processor.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How good is that?
You like it?
I thought it'd be tender, but it's even better than I thought. It's absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In Afghanistan, women think nothing of giving up a whole afternoon to make delicious dumplings. Mantu are the best-known dumpling from Afghanistan, but ashak, filled with a type of garlic chive, are incredibly delicious, especially served with a meat sauce and yogurt topping, like an exotic pasta dish with lovely spices.
Once the guests come to, for visit, when they know that we made ashak for them, they feel very happy because they love us,
Breshna Kestia says each province makes them slightly differently. Her tortellini shape is from Ghazni, where she's from. Breshna makes a dough from plain flour, salt, a little oil and water.
You have to knead it for like 10 minutes.
But now the techniques you're using you've learnt from home?
Yes, from my mum.
Yeah. And how long do you rest it for?
I rest it for half an hour. This is a Afghani gandana. It's a chive, similar to chive or leek. It's very popular in Afghanistan.
So how many would normally be making ashak together?
4 or 5 ladies get together.
It does smell really lovely and fresh, doesn't it? Slightly oniony.
A tablespoon of black pepper, a table salt, and then 2 tablespoons of margarine. So you just mix it. All the combined coriander. That's it. It's ready.
Beautiful.
With many little dumplings to make, Breshna uses a pasta machine to roll out the dough into silky sheets, which are cut into small squares.
They're so delicate. These are going to be tiny.
This is very tiny, so you can change the size, you can make it bigger. See, this is like 3 or 4 ladies sitting there and just making these all together.
Small little beautiful mouthfuls you're making.
Yeah.
Very professional. They look like little tortellini.
The ashak are cooked quickly in boiling water.
Now, how do you know when they're cooked? Is there a look to them?
They have to flip over when they're boiling.
Ah, they flip over.
Then you can just check, one of them to see if it's soft.
Breshna pounds garlic and salt, which is mixed into natural yogurt. She spreads a layer over a serving plate and then adds the steaming ashak, followed by a delicious spiced meat sauce, which is made by cooking onion and coarse beef mince, adding garlic, diced tomato and red capsicum, fresh sliced chilli, turmeric and salt, and cooked chana dal, covered with water and cooked thoroughly. The final touch is a generous sprinkling of dried mint.
Oh,
Nice.
it's delicious. Just so slippery, silky, and really exotic sauce. I love that.
In Afghanistan, tea defines hospitality. It's what you're offered when you visit homes. And it's said that in the one sitting, your first cup is taken with a stranger, the second cup with a friend, the third cup with family. Such is the power of tea.
It's really about connecting. It's about deepening and strengthening relationships, whether it's amongst family, amongst friends or customers.
Shakib Shaker works long hours in his business consulting company, but still finds time to enjoy the Afghan tradition of tea drinking, which he remembers fondly from growing up in Afghanistan.
So when guests come, family or friends, we prepare tea for them, whether it's green tea or black tea. We would have then nuts or sweets. Along with it, we'd have pastry or savoury biscuits. This is the king of all teas, sheer chai. Sheer means milk. Chai is tea, so milk tea, or it's also known as qaimah chai. It's quite a lengthy process you go through to make sure that this is really a beautiful, the colour is there, the taste is there. This is a cream made out of boiling milk.
So it's like a clotted cream?
Clotted cream, yep. So what we do is we then add this to the top, a generous portion. But once a day, it's okay.
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
You just drink, you're welcome.
Across Afghanistan and the subcontinent, rich melting sweets are made by slowly reducing milk with spices and adding nuts and even edible gold and silver. The Afghan version is called shipara.
When we say sheer, sheer is a milk in our language. So pirav, it makes it sweet.
Dr. Nuria Salehi is a nuclear physicist and biophysicist who spent years raising funds to support families back home in Afghanistan and help those lucky enough to have come to Australia to settle into their new home. She was awarded Senior Victorian of the Year in 2012 and occasionally has time to make beautiful, fragrant shipara. Nuria starts by making a sugar syrup with equal amounts of sugar and water.
So, Nuria, how do you tell when your syrup's ready?
It stops boiling and becomes slow.
Ah.
Right? It's getting thicker.
Sort of solidifies almost.
Don't put all.
She combines milk powder with walnuts and a tablespoon each of ground cardamom and rosewater. She pours in the sugar syrup, working it quickly into the mix.
Such a wonderful aroma as you mix it through.
Nuria then pours the shipura onto a dish and sprinkles ground pistachio over the top.
How long does it take to set?
30 minutes.
That's all?
Yes.
Ah, terrific.
And please try one.
The cardamom is just so fragrant, isn't it? Just melting. Delicious. Thank you.
On our next food safari, Danish food. From the most sensational gravlax to dense bread, beautiful roasts and the best open sandwiches.